My name is Jesus. It actually is. It's Jesus. And I've decided that now, at the very young, super nimble, not unk status age of almost 30, that I am going to become a game developer. Now you might be asking yourself, now? In the big 2026, when AI can already do everything that I'm going to spend the next probably few years of my life learning how to do, and could replace me and my entire cyber existence with just a few clicks? Yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. In fact, I've actually already started. This is my current project, which I have codenamed Eversprout. And the engine that I have chosen to learn this on is Godot, for two reasons. One, a lot of people said that it was a pretty easy program to understand that has a lot of open potential for what you can do once you learn it. And number two, it's free, which is great for such a financially endowed individual such as myself. Now you see in my head, what this is going to amount to at some point is a wide sprawling, fast-paced Metroidvania with platforming as fun as Celeste and levels of world discovery and world building and puzzle solving inspired heavily by the likes of Zelda and Hollow Knight, which you can tell because of the Hollow Knight music that I put in here as a placeholder. With directional input attacks and evil sentient plants that want you dead and gone for reasons. Now, like most artistic people, I can see the whole vision of what this is going to look like and play like. It's all up here somewhere. And I want nothing more than to sit down at this screen for however long it takes and make it happen. But the problem is that this is basically my first real attempt at making something that extends further than a single screen with left, right, up, down movements. And to be honest, it's more of a Frankenstein of just copying people's tutorials online, putting it in here and just hoping that it works. And while I am happy that it all works, I gotta be honest with you. It's bugging the hell out of me that I don't actually know how it works. I only vaguely understand what's going on here and what's making it all function. But honestly, if you ask me to do this again completely on my own, at most I could maybe get like a tile set or a background in or something. But anything further than that, brother, I am cooked. I would not know what to do. So with that being said, I have made a brave decision to kill an ego that rises higher than low tide in the Dead Sea. Something that will pain me now, but I know in the long run, it will be for the better. I am starting over. Whoa, okay, maybe not that brave. At the very beginning of this journey, all of like 12 weeks ago, or however long it's been at this point, I started here, alongside 6.5 million other people. Now, for anyone looking to get into game development, this is an awesome entryway. It's extremely easy to follow and details each and every step to make a basic 2D platformer that even one such as I could understand. And I knew for me that as soon as I hit play that first time and this whole mess of words, letters, and numbers actually worked and I was able to play it, I was hooked instantly. But for the sake of wanting to learn how the engine itself works and not just following another tutorial all over again, I'm going to restart here. Oh, another Brackeys video. This dude is my goat. So back into the learning process I go. Now, to prove to myself that I am actually learning something here, I have set up a self-imposed challenge, a final exam, if you will. And I have set up a few rules for this test. Rule number 1. Once I start, I cannot use any tutorials to hold my hand through anything once I'm in the project. I am allowed to use the immediate documentation that's within Godot to help out if I'm messing up any syntax, I guess would be the right word for it. The instant that I look up any tutorials or anything, when I'm deep in the weeds, I die. I fail. I'm a loser. Big fat L right on my forehead. Rule number 2. I can't use Godot's built-in 2D controller script. Alright, I gotta do everything from scratch, okay? From start to finish, I gotta harvest, mill, and bag this rice myself. Or else, forehead. Rule number 3. I am only allowed to have up to 3 warnings in the output, which is the yellow text that shows down here, but absolutely 0 bugs, which is red text. 3 yellows or 1 red means 1 L. Okay, so these are the rules, but what are my goals? In order for me to pass this test, And to shed that loser label right off of my noggin, I need to complete a list that I have established, which goes as follows. Task number 1, implement a tile map and create 3 levels. Easy enough, broad, general, but doable. Number 2, build a basic platformer controller from scratch that has a run, jump, and a fall animation. These animations don't have to be polished at all, they just gotta be there. Number 3, the player needs to be able to die and restart the level. And just to give it a little bit of sauce, we're gonna put a timer on that restart just to make it feel a little better. Number 4, implement a parallax background to each of those levels. Number 5, each level must have collectibles, such as coins, and an endpoint that, once you reach it, the next level loads up and you go right on. Number 6, the levels must have at least 3 different hazards. That includes pitfalls, damage platforms, and enemies. I might regret putting that into this task list, considering the fact that I've never actually tried to make an enemy before. Ever. And there it is, our goals and rules to follow. And now that I have those established, it's time I stopped being a weenie and I stopped procrastinating and I jump right into that cold and deep water. Here we go. All right, so my first task is going to be implement a tile map along with a terrain set to build at least 3 side-scrolling levels. That's number 1 on the list. So I made a new project, opened up the file, and quickly tried to import some assets. And this file is called, test environment. No, that's not what I called it. First tutorial 2D. That's not actually what I called it. What the hell did I call this? Wait, am I stupid? Where's my file? Oh my god. Brother, I haven't even touched like anything in the game and I'm already getting lost. OneDrive documents. Oh, it's in a different folder. Okay, OneDrive. Oh, it's right here. Oh my god, I'm stupid. That should be in here now. Wait, hold on. Is that gonna freak something out in here? Cannot. It does. I just had to change the path or something to get it back, but I got it back. It's loading. Hold on, it's loading. Did I get it? I think I got it back. Okay. All right. Well, before I do anything else, let me make sure that actually saved. Yes, it's still here. Okay. Now I can go in here and I can put my assets in here. My assets. No mistakes, just happy little accidents. Remember that. I even have them right here to remind me. Look at that. Oh, my button broke. No! So first, we're in test level 1. From what I remember, we start with a tile map layer. This gives us the ability to add a tile set. And I can drag and drop whatever tile set it is that I want to put in here. Now, the assets that I decided to use here are from the SunnyLand Pixel Game Art Collection, which is free on itch.io. I'll put the link in the description. We'll just go with the mushroom forest. Yeah. I don't know if I can really do a terrain with this, but I know I can at least do the tile sets in here. I need to change some project settings. I think these tile sets are set at 640 divided. Okay, so 6. Don't worry, your screen's working just fine. See, while I was messing around with these numbers here, I forgot that I had assigned hotkeys in OBS to my number pad. So while I'm typing all this stuff, I was unknowingly hiding my screen and muting my microphone over and over again. So for the next hour of this session, I was unknowingly talking to thin air and recording almost nothing. My microphone was muted that whole time, bro. And after this realization that I borked the recording, I tried to power through the rest of this first attempt, but I kept getting confused with the backgrounds. So I tried to use a color rectangle, but then I picked the worst possible color I could put behind these tiles. Oh, that is a little bit of an eyesore. I'm not gonna lie to you. And after taking a second to stare at my mistakes, the feeling of defeat was just too strong to ignore. And I failed. right, so let's try this again because I immediately failed that last attempt. First things first, I knocked out the settings that screwed me last time. Then, to prevent me from getting confused by an asset pack again, this time I decided to use the assets that I myself had made for that Eversprout project that I showed you guys earlier in the video. See, Godot has a thing called terrains, which allows you to paint in tile sets without having to individually place each tile, and they will automatically connect to each other to build whatever level you're trying to build. And because I made these with the concept of terrains in mind, I knew they would work for what I was trying to do here. And since I already had a background that I made to kind of match these tiles, I went ahead and just threw those in real quick as well, since I knew their sizes and how to set them up somewhat properly. This is going to be a character body, so character body 2D. The animated sprite is what I'm familiar with, so let's just go ahead and do this. Click into this, and then we should be able to implement our animations here. So we'll start with, no, that's wrong. We do this. We go to this little thingy, player sprite, idle, open. All right, and then from here, we can, one, and then we do that, and then we have all of our sprite frames. Press play. There it goes. And from here, a simple repetition of process for the rest of these animations, as well as adding a collision shape to make sure she doesn't just phase through all the environments. So now I can go into the sprite. I'm procrastinating again. I'm fibbing around. Here, let's do it. Player may script, enter, and there's my script. Okay. Ooh. Where do I start? After a quick drag and drop here to reference my nodes, as well as adding a few constants to define things like speed, gravity, and jump velocity, I went ahead and added in the two most basic functions that I could remember. A ready function and a process function. And I think physics process is actually where I would do all my squirrel brain, let's make an input map so my buttons actually do something. Move left is A, move right is D, and jump equals spacebar. Boom. We'll do handle gravity. I know that gravity needs delta. Not entirely sure why, but I know that it does. Then we would need to establish a function for handle. We'll do horizontal movement. If move left, that means if the left is pressed, velocity.x equals 100. Input dot get axis, move left and move right. Okay. I'm a little stumped. So at this point, I knew that I had some semblance of a functioning script made, but I knew that it wasn't right as is. And since I was trying to do as much as I could completely out of sheer memory, I couldn't really tell what felt off about it. And after a good amount of time spent fiddling around with it, I figured the best move from here would just be to hit play and test it. So right now, this is my current script. I have not tested it. I haven't pressed any buttons to try it, to do anything with it. I don't know if this is gonna work. I just did script, and I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope that this works. Okay, let's press play. Let's press the left key. Don't stop. Uh-oh. It's action. Pressed. Move left. Oh my god. Oh, whoa. Here, let me test the jump. Doesn't do anything. Would it even fall to the ground? It won't. Just as I suspected. It doesn't work. The movements start, but it don't stop. And the jump key just ain't jump keying. So in I went to troubleshooting mode, only to be met with the same results over and over and over again. I don't know what's happening. And I don't know how to fix it. Might call it here for tonight and just accept the L that I was dealt with. I will recheck some videos and
test 2. Try again, buddy.
I tell you what, man, I'm getting real good at forgetting to check if things are working before I start yapping.
Oh no, what's going on with my audio? God damn it. Fix my mic.
Okay, let me try that again. What the What? New sesh, new strategy. This time around, I made some notes to remind me of some key things to remember. Now going into this attempt, I decided that I wanted to use different assets again, these new gray box assets that I made specifically for this project. It's a very simple and terrainable tile set, okay, nothing too fancy. And I even went ahead and made some animations for this project. Check it, we got a run animation.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
A jump frame, a fall frame, and a wall sliding frame, which I wasn't planning on using yet, but I made it anyway. So with these new building blocks all set up, I speed ran through all of the steps I nailed in the last attempt, and I got back to the scripting as fast as I could. Now comes the scary part. The blank screen haunts me once again. Using my handy new notebook strat, I set up all the basics for starting out a script. And almost immediately, my confidence going into this attempt was way higher than the last one. I got my variables, references, and buttons set up, and my ready and my physics process functions were good to go. Now I know that there's things such as jump buffering and coyote time and all that kinds of stuff and variable jump heights. I don't know if I want to be implementing that just yet. I want this to be a basic controller script. If it moves and works for extra credit points, I guess, I can decide if I want to do at least variable jump heights. Now this one is the important one, the physics process, which is where all of the stuff is going to happen for the player controller. From what I can remember, base template player script just puts everything into this. And I can do that, but something else I can do is to make each individual thing its own function and then call those functions in the physics process, which is exactly the method I chose to use. Function handle jump. I don't think I need the delta in there. Now the next function would be, I assume, the movement functions. Make the direction variable a get access call. Is that what I have written here? Beneath all movement functions in the physics process, add the move and slide. Yes, can't forget that. The move and slide is what allows me to actually move and slide. Now, since the actual movement of the player was all coded up, I set up some script to play the correct animations during the gameplay. Now, there's one more thing, which is to flip the animations. This can go here. Handle animations. I believe I have the script set up. I haven't pressed play, so I don't actually know if this works. Let's try that now, and we can see what is and isn't working. Great player scene, which would just go right into here. Okay. The player is in the level. Cross our fingers. This is the first time I'm going to hit play. Let's hope this works. Whew, okay. All right, test number 2. Let's see. Run project. Gravity works. I'm going to move. Nothing is happening. Literally nothing is happening. Frustrating as this was, this gave me a chance to see how much I've actually learned and retained. Because after a quick scan of the script, I wonder if this has something to do with it. Maybe this has something to do with it. Let's put this back down here. I don't know. Maybe. Let's try it. Oh. Okay, well, I'm moving. Now, there's no jumping happening, so maybe input dot is action just pressed jump. Oh. Okay. I'm moving, but the animations aren't playing. Maybe, hold on. This wouldn't go below move and slide, would it? Oh! Okay, the running's working. But there's no jump. Equals... Hold on. If is on floor... Hold on. No, wait. Let's do this. This is actually going to be some separate indentation. So if is on floor. And then this will all be indented. Oh! Yo, it works! It's working! Yes, dude! Yes! Okay. Okay. Let's up these numbers. Yes. Alright, dude. I'm in. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. Let us do the honors here. Let us do the honors here. Okay. From scratch, run, jump, and fall. Everything's there. Completed. Oh, man. It's completed. The player controller is there. Oh, man, I'm so happy. Going into this next session, I added a few corner pieces to the tile set so the terraining goes a little smoother and everything connects a little better. And I made these floating platforms a little bigger too. And I even brought this little guy into here. This was originally just going to be a world obstacle, but my task list requires enemies. So I put a face on it. Now it's an enemy. This jump is super floaty. And I would like to make it variable. From what I remember, it's not complicated. It wasn't. Basically, I just needed to put some lines of code in that say, when I press the button, apply the jump velocity number. When I release the button, multiply that velocity by a very tiny number, which slows me down and takes me right to falling. Haha. Ah, okay. Yes. Sick, dude. So at this point, most of the coding for the player controller was done. And from here on, it was all about making the environment work. Starting with the death zone that resets the level whenever I fall into the void. Turns out this is also a really simple thing to set up in Godot. Make an area 2D with a collision shape. When the player enters said collision shape, reload the current level. Ta-da! Now I was getting a few red lines of errors here. And like the rules said, that's a no-no. And after several contemplative turns out I just need to make the scene reload a call deferred method because, you know. No bugs here. No bugs are showing. There we go. And just for a little bit of juice, as well as to mark it off the task list, I added a timer to the reset, as well as a camera limit, so the game doesn't follow you all the way down. It gives you a little bit more of that side-scroller feel, you know? Should start a timer. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, dude, I am... Oh. Since we just did that, I can call this completed. Because the timer's there, starts, completed. All right. 2 check marks in. Now the next task on the list that I decided to get done was the tokens. And the method that I chose was to make the token just a simple color rectangle with a collision shape in it that I can then duplicate and place wherever I want. It's not the cleanest or the most scalable way to do it, but with a simple line of code on this clonable little dot, they became collectible. I mean, my tokens are there. Collectibles in progress. I do need the next level part. Parallax background for side-scrolling. Now, this, I actually think I know how to do this too. Straight into the deep end I went. And I was so locked in, I hadn't realized that with each passing minute, I was descending slowly into the abyssal, eternal, everlasting darkness
awareness of the oncoming nightfall.
This was the temporary setup that I came up with. Parallax background made of a bunch of different rectangles moving at slightly different speeds that just would not loop properly. And out of frustration, I tried to quickly import this other background that I was making on the side as a practice thing, which on its own isn't super terrible looking. Can't really say the same once it's in the project though. But a little bit of color modulating kind of helped. And this is how it ended up looking. Just workable enough to check the task off of that list. We're almost done, dude. Oh man, we're getting close to being done. That is actually completed. I'm curious if I should put that in progress, because we still need to make it for the other levels. Next session is when I'm going to go in through here, finish up all this stuff that I got going on here, and I'm pretty sure I can call this final exam done from there. So after the session had ended, I went off to eat some food, and while I was eating, I just couldn't get my mind off of how to make these backgrounds actually look good. And out of nowhere, it hit me. What if, instead of using a Sprite 2D as a parallax layer, I use an entirely new tile map layer in its place? I'd never thought about this before. I'd never tried to do it. So as soon as I finished that bowl of spaghetti, I dropped everything I was doing and I ran to my computer to give it a try. And by the gods above, it actually worked. This is monumental for me, because in all of my previous tutorial copies and attempts, the one thing that I just could not wrap my head around, the one concept I couldn't get, was how to decorate the backgrounds with depth without having to draw each individual layer and add in each individual sprite. Now, this one little trick was my key to getting that Hollow Knight style of depth, without unnecessarily overworking myself, and possibly my computer. Because now, all I need to do is make a parallax background with a parallax layer and a tile map layer under that. Then I decorate the layer with my tile set, and once it's done, I just duplicate the nodes, rearrange that tile set a little bit, and change the parallax background motion scale depending on if I want it closer or farther from the camera. Some color modulation was a little touch that I added to kind of sell that feeling of depth. But once I saw that it worked, I hit record and I immediately got sucked back into work. No face cam this time though, because at the moment I was shirtless, and I am in no physical condition to be shirtless on camera. With this newfound method established, I locked in and I built out the rest of that second level before I stopped myself so I can save the rest for the next session and actually record it proper. My excitement still carried over too, look at that. Learning this, coming to this knowledge, it's opened my third eye. I can live my life differently now. I think I can mark this one actually. I haven't made the third level, but I figured out how to put that parallax background in here. So you know what? Just to feel good, let's go ahead and mark this one off, yeah? What do you say? What do you say? Completed. Since I solved the method on how to parallax tile sets, I figured I would go ahead and clean up this mess of a token system, because I can already tell that with expansion, this is going to cause aneurysms, and this needs to be addressed. Because the idea that I had in mind was to make a 10 token requirement to unlock the next level. But first, I needed to make a trigger zone that sends me straight into the next level once I reach it. And this was a simple collision shape that, when the player enters the collision shape, you load the next level. Now, let's not forget the call deferred thing that was giving me some trouble earlier. Like this? Did I do that already? Oh my god, it worked. That's all I needed to do. My coding brain. Dude, my programming brain. It's slowly getting its wrinkles. Now, the more efficient way that I decided to implement these tokens was to, instead of having each token be its own node with its own properties, I simply just made a single token its own scene. And from here, I just have to put as many token scenes into the game as I need. And with each token that I collect, I add +1 to a token counter that I added to the player node. So now the next level trigger only works when the token counter is at or above a certain number. So let's try this. If it equals, we'll do 4. We'll play through the level. If I collect 4 coins because of the script that I have set up, then the body entered signal should connect. 1, 2, 3, 4. My token counter is currently 10. This should work. Yes, dude. Oh man! Now that I knew my system was working, I filled out the level with more and more tokens to reach that coveted number 10. 9, 10. And now the next level should work. Yes, dude, I'm making a game! It's an actual game! Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we can knock off one more task from our to-do list here. What a glorious day. What a time to be alive. It's in the completed. What's going to be the banger to get me through this level design stuff? I'll go with... Yeah. That's it. Wasn't anything new going on here, but once that runner's high kicked in and the minutes turned into seconds, sooner than I had even realized, the third level was officially complete. I mean, really, I can check this off right now because I made that third level. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh man, success! The fruits of my labor are sweet. So we really only have one more thing left to do in order to complete this project. And that is going to be enemies. I feel like this is going to take me a while to do. Remember this guy from earlier? Let's make him into an enemy. Yeah, let's hit him with the old why Iota. Getting him imported from the sprite sheet wasn't too bad. Just had to bring him in as a sprite 2D node and crop him out using the edit region button that's built into Godot. Then a simple drag and drop was all that was needed to make my boy exist in the world. So that was the easy part. But now comes the scary part. The part that I've been dreading this whole time. How do I give an enemy its own brain? How do I make this thing move entirely on its own? And how do I give it its own consciousness to understand that running into a wall means you turn around and go the other way? The simplest solution I had for this question was to use a collision detecting shape called a raycast that I can point in front of the enemy sprite, and now, whenever that shape collides with something, it flips the sprite, which in turn flips the raycast, and then it just goes back and forth. Now you veteran programmers might have noticed something wrong with my setup here. This isn't a raycast. This is a raycast. But at the time of recording this, I didn't know that. Because prior to this challenge, I have never once even tried to follow a tutorial on how to make an enemy. So from here on out, I was just winging it. It's completely unknown to me, but I didn't let that scare me. And I gave my most valiant effort to try and script and create a functioning enemy. Okay, cool. Gravity works. Gravity works. Oh, no. See, that's, Now, why is that? Maybe it is raycast. We'll delete that. If we want to try raycasting, I can do that later. But I honestly just do not know how raycasts actually work. Handle horizontal movement. Okay, that works. So how would I do the flip thing? Look, I'll save you the time here because we don't need to see this. I spent like an hour straight trying to figure out how to flip the enemy when a raycast collides with something. But like I said earlier, it's not a raycast, so it's not gonna work the way that I want it to. No matter how many times I try and try and try and try again. It's not working, man. Guys, I don't know. I literally do not know how to flip when a raycast is detected. I got a level with you here. Trying to pride my way through this part is wasting a lot of time. I've gotten everything else figured out, but then I have to figure out how to kill it and make it disappear, which probably also involves a raycast. Man. Honestly, man, I think when it comes to this project, I'd be willing to accept the B grade instead of the A grade because I got everything else done here. But the enemy, like I mentioned at the beginning or whenever, how long ago it was, I've never tried to make an enemy. I've never tried to use raycasts. I was just winging it there. I kind of got a little too big for my britches there. So you know what? Instead of banging my head against the wall any further, I think I will omit making an enemy and putting it into my game. That's a big boy decision to make. It'll save me a lot of wasted time here trying to figure out how to do it completely on my own. I need to go back to studying, which is fine, all things considered. Everything else that I have set up here is stuff that I should be happy with. Everything else here was completed. So for the sake of ending this video in good spirits, why don't we go through and play start to finish my very first video game? What do you say? Level 1, start. Let's make sure we avoid those spikes. Wouldn't want to hit those. No siree. So I'm at 3 right now. No, I'm at 6. Lo and behold, I'm at 6. Now I'm at 8. Take me to 10, take me to 10. Level 2. Level 2, here I come. Avoid those spikes. I know that jump's kind of tough. So let's collect these ones, the easy ones. Now let's come back. Let's come back and get these ones now. Whew, sketchy jump, sketchy jump. Let's do it. I made it. I'm in. I'm in. Come back. Come back. Is that 11 already? Oh, I'm at 11. You know, I think I could go on, but let me go ahead. Let me grab my secret one. I put it up here. I put it up here for a reason. Yeah. Onward to level 3. Final level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Can't tell what's down there, so let's keep going. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Victory lap from here, folks. It's all a victory lap from here. If I pass these spikes. Yes, victory lap from here. What a journey it's been. Here it is. The end of my first game. Finished. We've made it to the finish line. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully it was fun. Hopefully amongst all the lessons that I learned throughout this whole journey, maybe there was some bit or piece of knowledge that might have helped one of you guys out there. Who knows? And hopefully when that next video comes out, whatever it's going to be, not entirely sure just yet, I'll be seeing you guys there too. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you then. Adios.